So we are back and having a look at another Kickstarter that has taken money from my wallet. And this case, we are looking at Tang Garden Seasons. Now, Tang Garden is a tile placement game that starts out with this stark white board that you can sort of see here, and it gradually grows out in colour. I was captivated by this game from the very first time I saw it back in Essen many years ago. I've got the base game on my shelf. I missed the original Kickstarter that sort of added expansions to this, but I'm going all in this time to actually make sure I get all the content. Let's have a look at this amazing looking Kickstarter and see why it's taking all of my money. So this is the final expansion, Tang Garden Seasons. So, you know, they've done multiple expansions on Kickstarter before. Some are available, I believe, retail-wise, that just add more variety, more characters, more of the panorama views around the edge, more items or decorations that add to the map, and the Kickstarter only doubles down on that. You can probably tell I'm quite excited about it. I think visually it's just one of the most stunning games. It has some flaws. I think there was something about, if it was 3 players, someone can always get slightly screwed, and different things like that, but I enjoy it because it just looks stunning, and there's the real simplicity of adding a tile and adding to water, adding to the putting a wall here that closes that off, that scores this, that gets you that, moving up the tracks, drawing these decorations and placing them, trying to make sure your character is looking at them while standing on a bridge or in a pagoda thing. Absolutely brilliant. I love the way they've done this flow chart. It tells you what you're wanting for, what to pledge for and stuff like that, and then it shows you what is included. Also, I love that VAT is included. That might not mean much to you American gamers out there, but for us in the UK, that's normally 20% more that we don't have to pay in the pledge manager. So that's very nice to see. So, what are these things? So, autumn. This includes kingfishers and bamboo. I think these are 2 brilliant sounding decorations. There's a new starting tile. Always good to have that variety. Like Carcassonne. Being able to start with the city of Carcassonne in the middle, or the river too. That variety just keeps you coming back for more, and anything like this new starting tile, that's going to keep me coming back for more. A donation board. I'm assuming this is the new things that are going to be triggering leaves tokens, which is again something quite cool, with a linen finish, which is, that sounds fancy. Drawstring bags, this palace interior, so sort of a sideboard thing. That's pretty awesome. Looking down here, some different decorations for that palace, as well as a new character. You've got spring. You've got some gorgeous looking panorama tiles to go around the edge of the board. Again, new character and lanterns. The lanterns are something so fantastical to see. And actually, as part of the Kickstarter, when we get down a little bit, one of the things they're going to have and add are little like plastic things, so you can actually have them slightly floating up, so then the lanterns aren't sat on the board, they're just floated up a little bit. I love that idea. The red envelopes of gifting money to friends and loved ones at different ceremonies and stuff. I think that's quite a nice little touch there. And then you've got summer, which is some more tokens and viewpoints, which is, again, sounds like just a new way to sort of add stuff to your Tang Gardens. Pagodas rather than the pavilions. I think I said pagodas earlier when I meant pavilions. This is really cool, and the fact there's some L-shaped central tile bits, so you can actually I like the way there's bits of red walls and stuff on those. It's making my mind run with how much this is going to potentially change the game. there's just more and more. Now, one thing I do really like, and we'll come on to this when we get into all of the Kickstarter extras, is how much it does feel like they've taken on board some things and gone for some of that variety. So these are the different levels. The fact there is a game trays way, I personally would prefer this to be a deeper box rather than a wider. It looks fantastic, but it's got to fit on the shelf, and a deeper box will fit on easier than a wider one. But you know, it looks nice, so I'm quite happy with it. So much stuff from the previous Kickstarter. If you're back going all in, absolutely amazing. So many different characters, rather than, I think there's got to be a good 10 in the base game, right? But even more. These are just, it looks pretty much like what's in the original game. And then we get on to some of the additions. So metal coins. Metal coins are an underrated accessory. You don't need them for every game, but some games there's something about that, something jingling and jangling in a bag. It just makes it sound so much better. And a few different extras, add-ons there. Again, just pictures of the gameplay. Now let's get on to what we're all here for. What is making this Kickstarter actually make me pledge rather than wait? Well, it's all of these extras. So they are doing some bits which are, from the looks of things, Kickstarter specials, and there's going to be some things which definitely look like you're going to be able to pick up later. Not quite sure how, but like for instance here, new fountain tiles, they're Kickstarter specials. But then these new characters doesn't say that. So to me that means they're probably going to sell them at conventions or later on their web store or something like that. I like that. I like Kickstarter specials. I like getting Kickstarter specials. I also don't like the fact that later on someone else might not be able to get that. I like things being thrown in for me, but I do. It would be nice if all things could be available to others later on down the line, maybe for more money or whatever. But Kickstarter specials are good and bad. During the campaign they're great. After the campaign, if you missed it, they suck. So I'm glad at least some of these characters and stuff, it looks like other people are going to be able to get. Ladybugs, it's a pretty different one. Not amazed by it. Some panoramas, that's kind of cool. Now this is, for me, I'm going all in, so I'm getting that big box with the game trays, so that actually this Kickstarter goal of plastic insert 4 seasons box means nothing to me. It's actually a wasted stretch goal in my opinion for many people. It should just be included automatically. New character, always pretty cool. More fountain tiles, and I like the look of these with the yin yang symbols on them. That's very nice. Some stickers for tiles. I'm not a huge fan of this. Personally, I won't probably be using them, just because they're going to maybe come off, rub a little bit, not look perfect, and maybe quite quickly not quite quickly, but sooner than the actual tile, they'll show wear and tear potentially, depending on how they're done. Now I might actually end up using them, probably not though. Then we've got some more trees. There's already a couple of different types of trees added. Here's the lanterns, the plastic bases for the lanterns. I think they look good. When it comes to miniatures, I always complain about these transparent bases. So you might, if you're a fan of the channel and have seen those contents, be like, why am I excited for them? Because as annoyed as I am when they exist for a purpose, to lift something up or something like that. In this case, there's no real way that they could have done it any better. I think when it comes to miniatures, they often can do it better, but something that's actually floating can let it off. And also, you don't have to use them. You could just take them off and put them on the actual garden. So more characters, more tiles. I love this one here with the little lion statue. I kind of wish that they had the two though. You often get multiple lion statues, one with a foot on a ball and one without, for the male and the female ones. But it does seem that there's only one. But then there's also like a fish river tile, which is pretty nice. Character bases. Now this is an amazing one. This is one of the ones where I said I think they're listening to people. It was sometimes quite hard to know where one of the characters was actually looking just from looking at the table quite quickly, and this means you can actually have them facing whatever direction you wanted, but make sure the base is pointing the right way and you are good to go. Great for taking pictures with all the characters looking in a certain direction, while at the same time having the gameplay still working, because you can tell where they're supposed to be looking. Dragonflies, I think they fit the theme a little bit better than the ladybugs, the ladybirds, whichever they were called, especially as they look a little bit more to scale. I do actually quite like these these panoramas. More characters though, that's always good. More special tiles. Now apparently these are grey walls, which has to do with Ghost Stories, the expansion. I haven't played that one, and you lose a coin for each grey wall you can see, so you can start using these as negatives, which I do quite like. Asymmetrical player boards. I like the fact that they're all the same, but I'd definitely give this one a go. Again, some plant hoppers. That's a cool little addition that you could shuffle in. More panoramas. The copy lantern tile, which is you can copy the ability of any active lantern you have. That's quite an interesting one. It does add that extra layer of choice. Another character. More special tiles. Look at those. That looks phenomenal. So again, some expert characters. So the Emperor and the Lady. A lot of these have been expert. I definitely remember the Emperor and the Lady though. So they've now have active abilities. I'm assuming this is like an extra thing though, that you can maybe flip the card over and have a different choice. That's quite cool. Not quite sure how that works, but excited by that. Some blue water lilies. That looks absolutely stunning. And then we're getting down here to general, and then this is the one that they're really trying to aim for. This is like the end game. So let's have a quick look. I'm going to just flick to the top. So we are at 416,000, and so that gets us just to here, those blue water lilies. So these are the next few. So in what, 40,000 euros. This is euros, not dollars. Okay, so I think that was as well. In about 40,000 euros, they're going to add these markets into the corner. So that's an interesting one. You can control choices apparently. We'll have a quick look at that. So this is one of the announcements. Introducing the market scenario. Well, this is quite cool. So you can refresh the corner where the market is for free. That's quite a nice choice. That's quite an interesting choice. The merchant becomes part of this scenario. He will visit one of the corners and then will be moving to the next market after using one of these abilities, which is refreshing it for free. Or if you've placed something there, you'll collect an additional coin. That's really nice. So that's an ongoing buff, an ongoing choice, an extra choice in the game. I've seen someone that say that might be analysis paralysis, but I don't think it's too bad. And that is all they've announced for now. There are loads of different things from Rado, playing through it, and some stunning pictures and stuff showing off the other games that they have done. All in all, I have pledged. I think it It's one of those games that is absolutely, let's zoom back to the top so you can see this image here. It's one of those games that is absolutely stunning. It just makes it fun to play, basically. And I would like to play with all of the extra variety that all of the expansions bring, be that characters, be that new tiles, new decorations, and that's why I have backed this Kickstarter. And for my wallet's sake, I do hope this is probably the last one I back in a while.